What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today talking about Madden 23. Once again, we have several Gridiron notes to look at. Hopefully we see some information in here that is important / noteworthy. I don't want to, just delete the video, especially considering I'm surprised I'm even uploading this. Obviously, I'm a bit late, like a couple days late, technically, but I wasn't too pressed about it, especially when I didn't even think I could record or screen record. But I changed the hardware to actual software, so I should even, maybe, it might not be the greatest quality, it might be like 30 frames per second, hopefully 1080p, but it should be good enough to record this. The software, obviously, for some reason, the graphics card just every time gives me the error, but enough of that, enough of my struggles that I've had for a couple weeks now, a couple months actually, but as of recently, more than ever. But hey, Madden fans, Gridiron notes from Madden 23 are here, something along those lines. But obviously, there's going to be information about the pre-order, all that. The trailer, I watched it, I didn't react to it because they had the copyright bullcrap last year and every year forward probably, but the all-new Fieldsense gameplay system provides the foundation for consistent, ultra-realistic gameplay and equips players with more control at all positions in every mode. Only available on the newer versions, of course, so I'm not sure what it would be like on last gen. Obviously, at least some of our series will be on next gen, like most of them at least, whereas I'm not sure about the online league. Not sure the direction there, and hell, with the way the league kind of quit early, I mean, we'll even have it. I don't know, but as far as the gameplay system goes, I did play the beta. It definitely felt a bit more different. There was less scripting, it felt like. But once again, I only played like an hour or two, so I can't really like fully tell. Once again, it looks new, but once you play the game a while, maybe it is scripting. It's just new animations for all we know. But it didn't seem as scripty. Like, you've had it in the past where you run into your back of your lineman, and you kind of just like vault really fast to the ground, whereas I kind of Mark Sanchez the butt fumble almost when I ran into my lineman, so it wasn't as clear as like running into your lineman, everything's fine, and then out of nowhere you just get sent straight to the ground. This time I ran into my lineman and I kind of like bounced back, like it actually felt like a legitimate like running into my lineman kind of situation. Some of the hits and animations of the catches, it felt a little more natural. So, I mean, so far so good at least when I played it. Hit everything, redefining defensive pursuit. New hit everything mechanics let you be more disruptive on defense. New animation branching technology in Madden 23 enables next-gen hit stick physics so you can perform mid-air knockouts, hit the pile to assist in tackles already in progress, blow up blocks, and force turnovers with stand-up tackles. When I looked at that, it actually did seem like that, but I will say it maybe seemed a little bit, that last one, force turnovers with stand-up tackles, seemed a little OP. Like there wasn't even really a punch-out. It was somebody came into the pile late, kind of just kind of ran into some players, but didn't really do a whole lot to the actual ball carrier, but the ball just came flying out. I don't know if that's just, they're trying to, implement something new. We got to show it off, so here it is. Here's a fumble. But it definitely did seem like, once again, a little bit less scripting with the tackles. I said it in the last video I did, the beta. Not like a fighting movie where, the main fighter guy gets to fight everyone one-on-one and everyone's waiting around. They actually did kind of seem like they were involved in the tackle, and the more players that were there actually meant that the ball carrier was going down. But of course, skill-based passing, lead your receivers open, drop back shoulder throws into tight windows. Like I said, I don't know if I did it wrong. I don't think I did. It really just felt like pass leading, just like in other Maddens, but there's actually like a little target to show kind of, where the pass lead is and all that. 360 cuts, whether you're running back or receiver, the new 360 cuts. So basically like precision juke moving, which has been in the game, or used to be in the game a lot. It's been in there in the past. It didn't feel that great. I mean, they felt faster, the moves, but they didn't feel like super effective necessarily. Once again, maybe different situations you'll see it, but I was using Alvin Kamara, pretty shifty back, and he really wasn't winning his juke moves or anything like that. But wide receiver versus DB battles, a suite of new wide receiver release moves and defensive back counter press mechanics made for some fancy footwork and crucial make for some, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I seen better, kind of press beat and press win Animations, the jump balls weren't, they didn't seem just completely scripted for the DB to win. I had a couple of jump ball opportunities. Didn't catch any, I don't think, but it wasn't a straight-up just jump ball pick situation. There was a couple of knockouts, and there's a couple of midair reactions where it seemed like the receiver changed his way of catching because he wasn't going to catch it because of the way the DB was playing it. And like I said, it feels a little more fluid. It seems a little more realistic. But as far as the franchise, once again, you're going to have to play it yourself to kind of know. We're also going to have to wait till the actual game launches because the beta is just completely different. They could literally release a completely new product once the game comes out. But franchise call the shots from the front office as you lead your Madden 23 franchise to the top. The drama of NFL free agency leads the way with new athlete motivations like team location and salary demands factoring into contract negotiations. New player tags improve off-season activity logic and impact player progression. Updated trade logic. AI represents the value of star players more accurately for fair and more realistic offers. Continue to plan and strategize like an NFL head coach with redefined scouting, staff management, and weekly strategy features. Of course, all that kind of is just basic stuff. It's not really anything to note. I'm trying to think of what we even need as a franchise community. I mean, they added a couple of things. The scouting update, in theory, once again, they did a lot of work, and it was really, detailed, but I think it was a little too bulky at times. Of course, it didn't really work at first, where you just weren't getting any information on scouting, and now you get, the whole position group when you're scouting certain positions. But, yeah, I mean, I expect that to be tuned up a little bit more as well. Maybe scouting is going to be really good. The trade logic, hopefully that obviously includes younger players where, guys like Kyler Murray shouldn't be untradeable if I'm offering a player of his caliber back for him. Some of these players just seem untradeable despite the fact that you're giving them decent value. What else do you have? Face of the franchise. The lead drops you into the 5th NFL season at a skill. Really? Come on, dude. How many ideas we run out of here? But you're seeking a fresh start with a new team. Negotiate a 1-year prove-it deal with one of the 32 teams and show out with great on-field performance to earn rewards and level up, blah, blah, blah. New edition. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's just not going to happen. Just stop forcing this face of the franchise. It's almost like a single-player game that's really good at single-player. And they're like, you know what? People have been asking for multiplayer. Just give them something. Just give them team deathmatch. Just throw it out there. That's almost like what face of the franchise is. We have a decent, our Ultimate Team mode is super popular. People like our franchise. We don't really have a story thing. Just throw something out there. Just give it to them. That's what this seems like. Some of the face of the franchise stuff hasn't been absolutely terrible story-wise, but as far as gameplay, it's just never fun. It's just too easy. It's not even on Rookie. It's like Rookie Arcade, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. You guys actually kind of seem to like my face of the franchise series last year, but I just didn't know where to go with it because even as a slow wide receiver on all Madden, we were just smoking the game anyways, So Ultimate Team, I mean, there's nothing really to mention there. It's just simple. The yard, it doesn't really seem like anything crazy there. Superstar KO, same thing, all the same kind of stuff as you'd expect. So as far as the welcome to Madden thing goes, that's pretty much that. Fieldsense, let's see if we get a little bit more of what this new gameplay engine is like. But you can see here, fueled by new physics-informed animation and animation branching technology, which kind of, in my opinion, kind of seems like it's not a predetermined animation, but there's a line of animations based on what would be most realistic in that situation. So it's still going to be probably some predetermines, but they're not going to be just one-on-one straight-up predetermines. There's going to be a couple of things you see commonly, but it's not going to be just straight-up, the same thing every time. Hit everything. We've seen this with the, mid-air collisions, all that. We build everything with a focus on alleviating those feelings, leading to, so predetermined. Hey, look, they use the word. That's like a self-report. Props to them for actually, talking about what everyone talks about. But every hit is comprised of 6 key components that offer emergent gameplay interactions, combined with over 3,500 new animations to give you the control over every aspect or impact, tackle, and collision. So this is kind of like, it's like Borderlands talking about how there's billions of guns or whatever. Like, you can't, you change 2 stats on a gun, and that's a new gun, technically. It doesn't really count, right? A mid-air collision while someone's grabbing his leg, yeah, it's a new animation, but if the core hit stick is the same, it's still the same. But like I said, a lot of things they're saying here did feel like that was existing in the beta that I played, so it definitely feels different. It feels more different than any other year, at least. Of course, you see some animations. I mean, Kittle looking for a flag, it seems. But hit the pile, give player more dynamic animations in multiplayer tackle situations. In every collision with hit the pile, key physical factors such as the player is involved in the pile and the impact of being brought to the pile are used to determine the proper outcome from a variety of possible outcomes. Gang tackles will be more organic and unpredictable in how they look and behave, but will also offer more players control to impact the pile throughout the play. I wonder if that means, like, in real life, you've been seeing that a lot where, the running back kind of gets stood up and then the offensive linemen come from behind and just start pushing. I don't think that'll happen. That seems like a really rare type of thing, especially since it's like the linemen kind of just run straight forever. I don't know if that's still a thing, but that's kind of the way they always had been. Hit the pile aims to consistently reward defenders for the impact they bring to every pile by allowing players the opportunity to always get involved. Yeah, that does seem like a lot of times if you run into the pile when someone's already being tackled in previous Maddens, you're kind of just hurting yourself when you're really supposed to just play prevent in case they miss the tackle. But in this, it does seem like, if there's more players at the ball carrier trying to get them, there's a more likely chance of negating yards and in general just not letting them slip away. But stand-up tackles on the back of hit the pile. We're adding the stand-up tackles feature to create even more moments where a ball carrier can be stood up intentionally to give teammates the opportunity to come in and make a play. Stand-up tackles, like I said, I think I don't know if it was this or the last one I mentioned where it almost seemed a little too predetermined that the fumble was going to happen because they were stood up. It wasn't even like a hit on the ball or a hard hit. Kind of just ran into the pile in general, and the ball just came out when nobody touched the ball. And a little worried about that stuff that they're going to probably have to tune, but you can protect the ball, there reduces the chance of a fumble. Maybe that's why I didn't do that, but that's also still a bad thing. I don't want they had a fumble every single time there's a stood up moment. But then again, I suppose there should be times where they do just fumble in general. But the size of the ball carrier defenders and the ratings of the players in the stand-up tackle all factor. So actually being a power back, it might not just be about falling forward or breaking tackles, but also not fumbling as much, which is kind of cool. I mean, seems like in previous Maddens, it didn't really matter who you were. You kind of just got hit, stick, and fumble. Just whatever. Mid-air knockouts over the last 2 years, you've seen a significant shift in interactions at the catch point. Madden 21 interactions were primary multiplayer catches that had 2 players both playing the ball inside a single interaction. Madden 22, there were far more matchups consisting of single-player animations that were independent of each other to offer more control. Yeah, I mean, definitely seemed like they were kind of doing their own thing to get the ball, and they weren't really like in that battle against each other, right? It was just 2 guys trying to jump up to get the ball. It wasn't really about knocking the ball out of the other player's hands or positioning yourself to get that ball. It's just both guys going for the ball, really, which is, what else we have? I didn't see the hit and blocks. I only can interact in different ways with oncoming tackles. You can do the same with oncoming blocking interactions, too. When in range of a blocking interaction as a defender, the hit stick can be used to run into a block to blow it up with force to create a pile. Get through traffic. So is that not a thing that already existed? I always did that. I know I do it on, like kick returns. It definitely works. But was that not a thing that existed in, like, regular offense-defense play? Like, if I was going to not make it to the ball carrier and I'm running full blast, I try to hit the lineman, but I guess maybe that never was a thing. That could be cool if that actually works, but players are experiencing this control on how they attempt to break up passes, and each choice leads to different risks and rewards, as well as the actual animations that play out. I'm going for the pick. You'll see all new catch contests that come with a chance for the receiver to break the tackle. If you want to play it a bit more conservative and go the SWAT. See, all this is great, but, I mean, will it actually work? If we're going to get stuck in predetermined animations, like, previous years, it probably doesn't mean a lot, but if you want to simply secure the tackle, choosing play receiver hit stick will make the defender not play the ball, but attack the receiver instead with a lower chance of knocking the ball out compared to SWAT. Add-on blocks. Everything is being used as an offense as well with new add-on blocks. This is primarily for running backs and tight ends as they try to navigate through the traffic. Blah, blah. animation branching technology now allows these players to add onto and then easily leave oncoming blocking interactions with the proper momentum and results rather than getting stuck behind a pile of blockers. In addition to running backs and tight ends, though, any blocker will have the ability to execute these new chip blocks. Once again, hopefully that works because, I mean, we obviously see blockers in general aren't great, but blockers in space are just awful. Pitch plays have just been dog crap for years in Madden now. We absolutely need the impact blocking, the in-space blocking to actually work. If you are also a bigger guy, I don't want you to just run up to the block and block them. I want you to run them over. You got a 260-pound fullback going up against a cornerback who's got like 60 pounds less. I want him to blow him up. Maybe he's not going to get to the blocker every time. Maybe he actually gets outran, but if he actually engages the player, he should kill him, simply put. Branching and physics tech. Any collision on the field will now lean on our Fieldsense system to determine if it should branch to a stumble or fall, both during the play and after the play is over. For example, if a defender misses a tackle attempt, that player can take out a teammate by tripping them, or hitting a ball carrier at a bad angle can force him into a stumble or out of a tackle. You can even knock a teammate off. And I mean, that's already a thing, right? Like, that's been a thing for a while now. All right, so you have all of this skill-based passing. Like I said, I read through this a little bit, and if we're going to be honest, it just, like I said, seems like leading the passer, the receiver, and you can't really change that much. But it's as far as I seen it, it didn't seem like anything new technically. But as you can see here, it seems like there's different abilities. There's target area and target reticle, which is what I feel like was in the beta. But there's also free form passing, which gives you the ability to pinpoint your throw to your receiver both within and outside of the target area, which, like I said, was talking about it. So a huge factor in unlocking freeform was capturing new catch animations to better pair with real-life throws. Hold L2 and aim down and away from your receiver for a back shoulder catch to keep the defensive back from making a play. Want to really lead your receiver in a streak, use freeform to aim outside of the target area and down the field. Oh. Huh. Interesting. I might actually have to go back into the beta and review my review. All right, so I take back what I said. It is different, but you have to change your settings in the game. And I will say it does kind of seem like it's something that will only really be used for offline, as it's just the game kind of goes too fast to be doing that mid-play where you're playing someone head-to-head. I just don't think it's something that can actually really work. But you can actually change your settings to where, where you're aiming is where it goes. I mean, even with guys like Rodgers, I was able to overthrow my receivers, even like the smallest little slant route. I was able to overthrow them because I aimed that way. So, in fairness to them, it does give you that power if you want to throw like Jay Cutler and overthrow anyone you want. I mean, it does give you that chance, but like I said, I don't know if that's going to really be something that's used commonly. There is just classic as an option, which is probably what most people are going to use, I imagine. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool little feature, and it actually seems to work. It's just I don't know if it's going to be possible to use, so I take back what I said in that beta. But as far as these cuts go, left trigger kind of gives you the ability to do quicker cuts and all that, faster cuts, spin moves and all that. Wide receiver versus DB battles, there's new release moves and all that, and you're able to actually do it, but it seems like, this is kind of more of like if you're actually playing like the yard or KO or something like that, you're on a team, right? Like, I don't think you can do any of this if you're a wide receiver, you're playing normal one-on-one, right? Like, you can't just have the AI be your guy, but apparently there's different directions you can actually, so this could be more fun for, face of the franchise if you're a wide receiver, or superstar KO if you're a wide receiver, or the yard, which is pretty cool, I gotta admit. So it'd be really interesting to see how this works. I'm not going to go too far into it because, once again, none of this matters to us if we can't actually see it in action, right? Like the idea of, cut moves and faking people out and stutter stepping at the line. We know that exists in the NFL, but how will it work? Will it work in the game? We'd have to actually see. And then apparently we have one more, which is fundamental football, pass coverage kind of stuff. They're trying to make the game, more realistic, better with just simulation in general. But a lot of feedback, about coverages not really working, drop zones. We will be featuring spot drop zones as our core zone coverage concept within our defensive playbooks in AI. This means that by default, all the zone coverages in our playbooks will be strictly using spot drop zone logic and covering a specific area of the field instead of a mixture of both spot drops and match coverages like we had last year. So will they actually sit where they're supposed to? If I run a purple route, is he actually getting a purple coverage? Is he actually going to go there? If I got a guy in the flat, is he going to sit there? I wouldn't say that's something that's just great necessarily, but yeah, okay. So match zone coverage concepts are still accessible through your coach adjustments and all that. Drift logic or deep zone defenders. Drift logic is all new coverage behavior for deep zone defenders. This logic prevents deep zone defenders from drifting too far upfield without having a vertical threat in their area to prevent those third window throws on deep crossing routes. Drift logic allows defenders to recognize a receiver approaching his zone sooner, plaster him in coverage as he crosses his face, and will not get beat underneath. Players told us those third window crosses were completed too consistently. And this, yeah, I mean, obviously, the defenders in general got beat over top a lot, and I don't know if it's going to be fixed, but, underneath you got a guy playing a deep blue. There's nobody even close to playing deep on him. Why is he still running? You've got nobody playing underneath. Why do you got a guy that's in a hook still sitting there when, he's got a guy 10 yards behind him? Start moving, start moving. Zone defender locomotion. We've captured a whole new set of defensive back-specific movements. Cool. Route-specific break on throw logic. I mean, if the routes actually run their routes, if I want an out route that isn't a C route, sure. The on-time break logic is great. But one example is a hard flat zone aggressively breaking on a route to the flat instead of leveraging deeper routes first. Yeah, I mean, once again, I've seen it just not be true. Where a guy's clearly playing the flat, yet he sees that it's a streak or something to cover that instead of going to the flat guy that's literally about to get open. You get crushed in that all the time. New end zone coverage logic. Previously, our deep zone defenders made little logic adjustments when they were covering in the end zone. This resulted in defenders squeezing down on routes, breaking to the inside while disregarding the underneath zone defenders. True. DB catch versus SWAT. With our zone coverage defenders playing stronger fundamental football, we have tuned the balance between play ball and play receiver and SWAT, so that you'll see defenders use a wider variety of behaviors when the ball is in the air rather than always attempting the interception. Yeah, I definitely seen that. There was a lot more SWATs, and I couldn't really tell what was going to happen as far as a result went, when the ball was in the air. But quicker get-offs for all pass rushers. Yeah, any blitzing player will now have much shorter delay times in reacting to the snap that opens up more QB pressures. We call in stock blitz plays. I will say, though, like I said, with the contains, in general, scrambling is nearly impossible from what I've seen. But here you are. Stopping mobile court has always been a difficult task for defenses, both in the NFL and in Madden. New AI defense. I mean, really, it just seems like, as soon as the guy's running, he pulls off. We've improved disengage animations for passers to get away from blockers faster for both one-on-one blocks and double-team blocks. Well, here's the thing. If you're double-teamed, you probably shouldn't be able to get off the block super easily to get to the quarterback, We've also improved the prediction AI for contained players so they'll be more responsive and anticipating when the quarterback's going to run take off. That's not even true. It's just they're not anticipating anything. They're literally just they're just playing off. They're getting off their block the moment you sprint. Simply put, blocking to bring more balance and more authenticity. New block animations. Yeah, I mean, if you decide to Control F for Escape Artist, we got you. Escape Artist has been pulled. Yeah, we know that. So, yeah, additional foundation football improvements, catching new. Okay, fair enough. I mean, this is all just kind of stuff that we've always been promised, but we have never really been delivered on. And when I actually played the beta, it actually felt like some of those things were actually legitimate. So, a lot of hopes for that. And this, I know it's redundant, but I feel like in the past I haven't said that. I said, maybe there's some right direction stuff, but this absolutely, as far as recent years goes, has the most potential to be a good game than any other year. It's like a brand new engine. It really does legitimately feel different. Like last Madden, you really couldn't tell the difference between Madden 21 and Madden 22. I mean, it's just, if you're playing on next gen, it's just the same thing. It really is. But I will say, this has a ton of promise, and I think It's going to at least be a definite different game. Will it be a better game? I don't know. But as far as people saying it's the same game every year, I mean, it's definitely going to be different. It's going to be different as much as a core sports simulation game can. You know, like, I don't know what you expect them to add, like rocket launchers to the players, jetpacks or something. But I think it seems like a right direction. I think for once, maybe the heart's in the right place a little bit. And maybe we'll actually get an okay product. I'm not going to say it's going to be great. You got to actually see it at launch because the beta is one thing and the launch game is different. But I don't know about features, you know, for games like, you know, modes like franchise and that. But as far as pure gameplay, it might be a much better game. A little bit more random rather than predetermined, which I don't know how the pro scene is going to like that. But yeah, that's kind of what I've gathered from this and playing the beta. If you've played the beta, if you read this with me or listened in, let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Should be Nighthawk's video later today. Rebuild tomorrow, more than likely. That's about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, whether you did play the beta or not. And that's about it. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video,